So they say there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'd say they're right. They also say don't walk towards the light. Don't go towards the light. But I think on this occasion we've just got to chance it. And this is the light at the end of the tunnel. And that, of course, is the port of Dover. That's where you'd be going if you wanted to head to France or return from France. This is inside the World War II tunnels at Dover. So they planned the withdrawal of troops from Dunkirk in France back to Dover when Hitler clearly was winning the war and taking over France. All happened in here. And then when the Battle of Britain began, the air war between Germany and England, this was the command centre. So we're told that Dover Castle, which is where we're at, that's part of it that you're looking at, but not the main part. It's the biggest castle in England. And you can see there's a wall right round. And we're on 86 acres, I just overheard. And there's 2,000 years of history here. I'm eavesdropping and passing on these little bits of information as I get them myself. We're just waiting for our little tour. We're waiting for a tour of the underground tunnelled hospital, Second World War. We found a very lovely lady whose name is Kira, and Kira knows quite a bit about the castle. Well, she says that I don't know too much, but she knows a lot more than us. So Kira's just going to give us a quick rundown on what we're looking at.
As I was saying, the castle itself, the actual whole site is about 86 acres. So obviously quite a big site here at Dover. It ranges all the way from Roman, which is about kind of 2,000 years ago, all the way up until the 1960s. So we've got quite a vast kind of history here. The castle itself is 1180s. It was built by Henry II. It's a typical Norman castle made of limestone and cairnstone, which is kind of outsourced from France at a quarry and also the local quarry as well. Up that end of site you'll see obviously kind of a lot more bits and pieces. The roofs and the ceilings and the floors were redone in the 1790s and 1740s, so you've got lots of little bits and pieces there as well. Obviously you've got the wartime tunnels here as well, which I'll go into on the tour, and I'm sure I kind of tell everyone all about it. A lot of the other buildings are kind of from range from the 13th century all the way up until the kind of 18th century. That tends to be when a lot of them. There were lots of kind of other buildings. We've got the officers' new barracks, which was built by a very famous architect called Anthony Salvin, which is pretty cool. That's just up by the ticket office, the big long building. And then you've then got kind of other bits and pieces as well kind of surrounding, which is kind of cool. So yeah, no worries.
And you appreciate that, darling, did you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love history. English history is amazing.
And that's a statue of Admiral Bertram Ramsay. And he was responsible, not him personally for all the work that was done, but he was responsible for the operation to get the soldiers back over the Channel when the Germans were clearly invading France, and all efforts to save it looked glum. And this is an actual drawbridge. Walking across the timber section. On our breath, making sure it's not rotten. And into the castle. And in the castle, oh, there's Elena. Not even 1,000 years to go. They used to have shops there to sell you things. This is the main part of the castle. The inside the walls. So on the other side, there's another drawbridge. Inside the castle. First little dark room we come to. Very small little chapel. And there's more stairs to be seen. So one of the first things you see when you climb up the stairs is the rainwater tank. The windows are clearly for light. I think they were designed for looking at the view. Somebody's left their crossbow and little darts, I think they are. I'm not sure what they're called, but they're not arrows. This castle was built by Henry II, who built himself quite the British Empire, or English Empire. What we have in here is the well, the mechanism for bringing the water up by bucket. And if you ever find it needs to be photographed, You'll always find that woman heading for the door, Elena and her camera. Oh. Okay. So we found the throne room. Looks like Henry's still sitting there. Another staircase. Looks like it just goes up to a window though. And we've got some chambers here. Right, they're fit for a king. Somewhere for the king to sleep. He's got quite a few visitors in his bedroom currently. The royal fireplace. What looks like to be the royal wardrobe. What have we found here?
I found you.
Oh, you found me.
I found you.
Oh, yeah, stop looking now. You can relax. What have you got here? This is where the scribes hang out, eh? Yes. This is where you can count all your gold, I suppose. This does indeed. Another room. I guess it's unsurprising that there'd be a lot of different rooms. But what is surprising is the king has left his crown here. Holy hand grenade there, I noticed as well. This tapestry here symbolises Thomas Becket, who was famously murdered by knights who were probably advised by King Henry II. And it's a bit confusing because Thomas Becket was King Henry II's best friend until that day. But I guess we all go through our lives and find that our best friends are not what they seem. Sometimes it can take over 50 years to discover that. What have you found here, darling? A
Chapel.
A chapel. Yes, looks all ready to go. Of course, all of England was Catholic back in the day, until Henry VIII came along and decided he wanted a divorce. And somehow that changed people's beliefs. So they do have some good displays here to show you what it would have been like inside the castle. Obviously, very basic furniture, but the best part of it is that we are in a castle, and it was built in 1100.
1180. I think Kira said 1180.
1180. So, and this castle still stands. And some of the best things about it is when you look at the detail of the wall. I think that close to 1,000 years ago somebody shaped that, carved it out. So I don't know what the whispering is, but there's this whispering going on. But also, everyone that's come into this little room has sat there and had their portrait taken. As the light streams from the very quiet windows that shine their light on the wall. Okay, so that's the inside of the castle. There's still a little bit more on the outside, but we have to go outside the walls, and that means going over the drawbridge. Across the drawbridge. Through the old walls built by Henry II. Well, probably not him personally, but people he had control over. What did you have to say, darling? Slippery here. Don't fall over. Gotcha. What have we got? Another gangway. Boy. So the other buildings, the more modern looking buildings, are still Georgian. Yes, and down outside the walls there's more, but well, there is concern that I'm going to slip over. It looks like snow, but it's actually frost. It's been that cold that the frost from overnight is still here, not drying out. Oh wow. So outside the walls, got all our heraldry displayed. Down the stairs we go. Now we're inside the spur tunnels. Now the spur tunnels were built as a secret way to go from behind the walls of the castle to the forward post outside the wall of the castle. So these were built when the castle was built, but they were also used for centuries in many other types of wars. Quite large as far as tunnels go. There's quite a steep slope down here. It's walking through history. This is the inside of St John's Tower. From here, you can see the cannon. Not sure that one had much of a range. Got a big earth mount there. And this short little cannon here is called a smasher. Down the next level is one door, but you can't use it. There's another doorway out that you can't use. This is the way to go. Watch your head, as you do in all old English things. Oh, what can we see out here? Ah, yes. You can see the enemy coming. Not very far away, but if they get that far, they're going to get smashed by cannons upstairs and other firepower from down here. Tunnels continue. Until we finally get to the staircase. And hopefully to freedom. And even more tunnels on our way up through the slope. Down there, got a fork in the road. Take this prong of the fork, but I think this is a bit of a dead end. So now we'll take the other fork. Oh, who have we found here? Oh, run away. It's a kind of labyrinth of tunnels, to tell you the truth. Not much of a view there. Let's have a look in here. Ooh. Soldiers in this room remotely operated 5 doors controlling the entry of the spur tunnels. 4 were open and closed using long levers attached to the doors through small holes in the walls. The 5th was closed by cables moving on pulleys through the wall to your left. There's your pulleys through there. So that's how you open and close the doorways. And we've got a little room here that has light. And the lights from straight up. That's about it. No stairway. And finally, freedom outside the tunnels. Outside the walls. Now we're on the outside of those gun emplacements. So yeah, if you go down, if you're brave enough to go down there to try and climb up those walls, you're going to get shot at by that cannon. If you somehow survive, you've got to somehow climb up there, break through those walls, and then even then, when you get inside, the main tower in the middle there can just be all cut off as well. No wonder no invading army was ever going to take Dover Castle. So I'm just going to walk over that little drawbridge area, back into the castle, then we're going to head off. So that's pretty much the end of Dover Castle for us. It's been quite a visit. It's easily the best castle that I've seen. What do you think of that, Dana?
Absolutely. No doubt about that. Best castle we've seen in France, Germany, and East England.
Mind you, there's more castles for us to see, but this one, I think it's going to be hard to beat. But anyway, see you on our next adventure. Help us grow, like, share and subscribe. But before we go, there's just 2 things that we have to look at. They're actually the oldest things. First one, from 130 AD, a Roman lighthouse built up here on the right near the Dover Castle, and it's built to obviously show the ships where the coastline is and not to run into the land. And the second thing is the Saxon Cathedral that was did become a ruin, but the Victorians recovered it. So it's an operating church, St Mary in Castro. So let's have a look at these. 130 AD, a Roman lighthouse. And this is inside the Roman lighthouse. Approaching 2,000 years old. And of late, it's become a trend that what episode of Swannying Around would be complete without the look inside an ancient church.